Our Black Friday 2017 coverage is continuing in this video with 10 epic PlayStation 4 game deals at $15 or less. These games are all very good and you can find them on Black Friday for an extremely cheap price. Let's get right into this. Titanfall 2 for $12. Titanfall 2 was an excellent first-person shooter released back in 2016. Unfortunately, among the wave of first-person shooters that was released in 2016, this one is the one that really struggled from a commercial standpoint. It was released around the time of Battlefield 1, another EA property, so it kind of begs the question, why did EA decide to release Titanfall 2 right around the time of Battlefield 1? But at this point, what's done is done. What you do need to know is that Titanfall 2 is an excellent game that improves upon the first game in nearly every category. Now you have a single player campaign in the game and it's actually pretty decent, and the multiplayer has way more depth to it. For just $12 at Walmart, if this is a game you missed out on, and I imagine a lot of you guys did, then definitely check it out. Watch Dogs 2 for $12. Watch Dogs was one of the most hyped up games early on in this generation. So many were looking forward to Ubisoft's new IP. Unfortunately, many would also consider that the first Watch Dogs game failed to deliver in every area. However, it had a very interesting premise, and Watch Dogs 2 built upon the first game greatly. The gameplay is far better, the world is better, the storytelling is better. What I like to think Watch Dogs 2 as is, remember what Assassin's Creed 2 did for Assassin's Creed? Well, Watch Dogs 2 did that for Watch Dogs, where the first game had a lot of potential, but it needed work on a lot of areas. Watch Dogs 2 definitely improves upon the first game, and if you were turned off by the first game, the fact that it's going to be available for just $12 at Walmart, now is the time to check out Watch Dogs 2.
For a walk. Or a ride. Any ride. There's always something going on. No matter where you end up, it'll leave its mark on you. And yours on it. Only one rule around here. Tech rules.
Borderlands: The Handsome Collection for $15. Borderlands was one of the great new IPs introduced last generation, and Borderlands: The Handsome Collection is a compilation of Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, as well as both games' respective DLCs. What that means is for your money, you are getting an insane amount of content and a lot of replayability. These games will keep you busy for north of 100 hours, and if you have a couple friends to play with, even better, but Borderlands is also a solid solo experience. You can pick up Borderlands: The Handsome Collection for just $15 at Best Buy and GameStop.
Weakness leads to death. I can't wait to taste your lungs. Max.
Dishonored 2 for $12. Speaking of great new IPs introduced last generation, Dishonored was another one of them, and last year we saw Dishonored 2, which much like Titanfall 2 and Watch Dogs 2, Dishonored 2 also greatly improved upon the first game. Now you've got two playable characters, and the gameplay's got a lot more depth to it. The first Dishonored game was already really good, don't get me wrong, but Dishonored 2 is even better, and that goes to show how great of a game Dishonored 2 is. Arcane Studios is extremely talented, and if you've yet to check out Dishonored 2 for just $12 at Walmart, it is a bargain.
No!
So, what are you prepared to do about it, Your Imperial Majesty? Delilah's playing the long game. And now she's an empress.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition for $15. It seems like The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim has been released 1,000 times at this point. We got the original on Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Then we had it on PS4 and Xbox One. Now we've got it on VR, and we've got it on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, gamers can't get enough of their Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and if you've yet to check out Skyrim on the PlayStation 4, you should, because Skyrim Special Edition makes a great transition over to the PS4. What you have with Skyrim Special Edition is better technical performance, better visuals, and of course all of the downloadable content, and this is another game that can keep you busy for a very long time. $15 is a really solid price, and it'll be available for that at Target. Injustice 2 for $14. Injustice 2 is arguably the best fighting game that's been released this generation, and we've had pretty good ones. We saw Tekken 7, a couple of BlazBlue titles, a couple of Guilty Gear titles, but Injustice 2 did a really good job of offering a really complete experience in that, yes, there's a competitive aspect to it, and if you want to delve real deep into that, you can, but there's also a solid single-player component, and aesthetically, the game is absolutely wonderful. And remember, Injustice 2 just released earlier this year, so for $14 at GameStop, it is a steal.
Your mortals cannot stop. How do I beat him? You can't. Earth's time is up.
The Last of Us Remastered for $10. The Last of Us is widely considered as one of the best PlayStation 3, if not the best PlayStation 3 game of all time. It is that good, and we saw it come to the PlayStation 4 in the form of The Last of Us Remastered, and it saw a lot of refinements. What you typically expect: better performance, better visuals, a great photo mode that allows you to really capture the world of The Last of Us, and you have a beautiful world in this game. And you've got the downloadable content as well. If you have a PlayStation 4 and you have yet to play The Last of Us, you're really doing yourself a disservice. It's one of Naughty Dog's best games they've ever created, and remember, they've made masterpiece after masterpiece. The Last of Us Remastered is going to be available for just $10 at GameStop. Ratchet and Clank for $15. Ratchet and Clank is one of the most iconic PlayStation franchises ever. Insomniac did a great job with them during the PS2 era and the PS3 era. However, on the PlayStation 4, the series was absent for a while until early 2016, where we saw Ratchet and Clank. No, it's not a brand new game. However, it is a rebuilding of the very first Ratchet and Clank game, built ground up for the PlayStation 4. This isn't your typical remaster. Right away when looking at the game, you can tell this is a PlayStation 4 title. Visually and technically, however, it retains all the charm that you know and love from Ratchet and Clank. It's a great platforming experience, and whether you've never played the series or you want to revisit the first game, it is a great pickup, and it'll be available for just $15 at Best Buy.
I'm down in the shelter. Ratchet, this place is a mess. Disassembled weapons and engine parts everywhere. Didn't you tell me you were going to clean it up last week?
Sorry about that. Got held up on a project.
Beginner's Guide to Quantum Burst Engines.
Just throw that anywhere. I have it bookmarked.
What's this? Fun with singularity.
Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection for $15. We mentioned Naughty Dog when talking about The Last of Us Remastered. However, what they're most known for is obviously Uncharted, and Uncharted is probably the staple PlayStation franchise at this point. Uncharted: The Nathan Drake Collection brings Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 3 all in one package, and of course you've got your visual improvements, but these are still great games to this day. The first Uncharted game does show its age quite a bit, but Uncharted 2 and 3 are still tremendous games, and you get all three of those games for just $15 at Best Buy. That's too good to pass up.
So special about that ring?
It belongs in my family.
inscribed with Sir Francis Drake's motto.
Greatness from small beginnings.
Just what is it you're after?
That's just a little historical research.
Don't tell me you're buying into all that supernatural nonsense.
You love all this as much as I do.
No.
And finally, Final Fantasy 15 for $15. Final Fantasy 15 was another one of the long-awaited games on the PlayStation 4. It saw a long road to release, a development cycle that lasted over 10 years, but Final Fantasy 15 was finally released last year. And given the enormous hype, many would say that it failed to live up to expectations, but you still have a great game with Final Fantasy 15. Let's get the bad out of the way. What's wrong with Final Fantasy 15 is definitely from a storytelling standpoint. It's just not up to par with a lot of the Final Fantasy games, and it does come across as a disjointed mess. However, the strengths of Final Fantasy 15 still shine through with amazing visuals, a great world to explore, awesome combat, and a solid cast of characters. If you just go into Final Fantasy 15 expecting a great open world adventure, you're definitely gonna get that, and for just $15, it is a great pickup at Target.
Although he's the weakest and youngest member of the team, his masterful gunplay makes Prompto a valuable ally during skirmishes. Prompto's favorite hobby is photography, and the photos he takes on your journey can be shared on social networks.
This one's pretty good. I dig it too.
Gladio is Noctis's eldest companion, and his family has long served as the shield protecting the kings of Lucis. However, the bond Gladio shares with Noctis transcends that of a bodyguard.
So that wraps up 10 epic PlayStation 4 game deals for $15 or less. What do you think? Which of these games are you gonna check out come Black Friday? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.